welcome everyone. I am Drew Hall, and I'm here with Ace Austin on the first episode of a little show I like to call The Platform. God has put this on my heart to create a space for athletes and coaches and people to share their faith. And so I'm excited to have Ace be my first guest on this show. So, Ace, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Everything's going good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Listen, just trying to make it. Monday morning's coming tomorrow. We got school, so
Yes, sir.
um, I teach seventh grade. So anytime that you're thinking about it through the day, prayers are completely accepted.
Sure will. Sure will.
So.
For sure. For sure.
Okay, well, Ace, let's just start it off. So I know recently, we like to start out and ask people to share their testimony, but yours has really just kind of come into play over the last few months. So just tell me a little bit about your testimony.
Well, yeah. As I said, I got baptized July 17th, and it was right before my birthday. But just I'd say a lot around that time, was going on. I had a cousin, which was Jana's
Yeah.
daughter, which had passed away, which had made me think a lot about it. And as a kid growing up, we was always around it. We always went to church camp, went to school. Sunday school Wednesdays and Sunday mornings, Sunday evenings. So we always grew up, and we always had flashcards through the house during Bible class. As a sports player, you like to make everything a competition in life. So
Yeah.
me and my brothers, and as my parents, they would always, show flashcards, and we would always see who could get the most right. But growing up, uh, it has been a big part of my life, but it's just now, since being baptized recently, it's really starting to, sink in, I guess you would say. But that's basically how my testimony's been.
That's good. Well, let's talk a little bit. So before this summer,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like, you said you were kind of always around church,
Mm-hmm.
but really kind of what, I know you said your cousin passing away. Was that really the kind of catalyst to sparking that, oh, hey, I really need to kind of nail down my eternity?
Yes, I would say that it really was. And, you know, she was one, she couldn't talk, nothing was wrong, not many people in life are perfect. And you would have to say she was perfect. She couldn't do nothing wrong. And, in that manner, you would always like to see somebody again in life. So, that really had a deep part in my decision, and in many other things did. But, I loved her, everybody did. So, you
Yeah.
know, some when things like that happen, it makes you just sit there some days and just think, if you wasn't baptized right now, where would you go? Or if you died right now, where would you go? So that is a really big part.
Yeah, and that's one of those big questions that everybody's got to face because I like to tell people when I'm preaching or I'm teaching and things like that. 10 out of 10 people die.
Yeah.
That's one of those things that everybody bats 1,000 on, and so knowing where you're going to go is important. And one of my favorite preachers, I heard him talk about how he shares the gospel, and he asked people two questions. He said, "If you died, where would you go?" And if they say heaven, his next question is, okay, well, why would God let you in?
Mm-hmm.
And when you answer those two questions, it just leads you to Jesus.
Yes.
Uh, but I think something that's just really cool, and just all the people that your cousin's life has impacted, but especially yours. You know what I mean? That's her legacy is, hey, of all the people that she impacted with her story, and it helped lead you to that place where you said, hey, I need to accept Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of cool how that worked together because I remember her from when Coach and them, she would come to the field some and stuff like that, and she was real special. But like you said, she had struggles and she couldn't talk and do those things, but that didn't stop God from using her.
Yes, sir, for sure.
So yeah, but that's awesome. And then we got baptized July 17th.
Yes, sir.
So that was pretty good. Did you do a cannonball into the baptistry or?
Hey, that'd have been cool, but
That would have been good. Listen, I baptized some seventh graders the other day, and I was joking around with them. I was like, "Hey, yeah, if you just want to jump on in, just go ahead and do it." And his mom had to stop me. She's like, "Don't tell him that. He will do it." And I was like, "Yeah, don't do that. Let's not go
Oh,
there." So,
I can imagine.
oh yeah. All right, so let's kind of move on to the second question. You've already hit on it a little bit. Just some people, some role models, people you've looked up to in the faith and for their faith growing up.
Yes, and many people has had a big part in my life through many things, and my parents, I have to say, they've guided me through life by showing me, the right things to do and showing me what's the wrong things and what not to do, and they've always been a great example to me by they're great parents, and I'm thankful to have them as my parents to you know be with the Lord as well. And you know not saying there's a lot of parents out there that is not guiding their child to where they should be, and I'm thankful for them. And you know as people think of our family, they definitely think there's a lot of people out there that definitely think that our family's all about sports and winning. And, with my mom playing college basketball, all of her culture, and my dad, all he's accomplished too. People definitely think that. But that's not what all lives around our house. And, it's not at all. And people think all we want to do is win. Winning's fun, but for us winning, we believe it's, are we winning in life? Are we winning by doing what God wants us to do? And I want people to know that that's one of our big things. It's not all about sports around our house. They have they have taught me how, win every day by being a great example to everybody and following what God wants us to do.
Yeah, and I think you bring up a good point because people see your dad and mom have won so much. Uh,
Yes.
I don't even know the exact number of all the championship rings they have when you go back to college and everything else.
Yes, sir.
But that perception can be hard for people because they see all the success and they think,
Mm.
oh, that must be all that they are.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
but one of the cool things about your mom and dad is being in that coaching circle and hearing people talk about Rat and Dana. You always hear Rat and Dana. I've never heard a bad word about them. You know what I mean? And that's saying a lot because usually, when you win so much, people
Mhm.
don't like you a whole lot. You know what
Yes.
I mean? But that's just like you said, the kind of people that they are, and I think it's really cool that they could let bring out that competitiveness in you, but
Mhm.
they use that to learn scripture and learn
Yes.
with flashcards like that. So, but I'm really glad that you brought that up because a lot of people do think that hey they probably make you shoot what
Yeah.
500 threes before you can go to bed every night and stuff like that. But knowing your family that's the furthest thing from the truth.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, I mean, there's one more person I got to ask you about. Since we brought up mom and dad, and like I said, this person's close to me too, Coach McGinnis.
Yes, sir.
So, how much have you looked up to her too?
Oh yeah, for sure, a whole lot. And you know, as a kid growing up, when I tell you, me and my brothers, all my cousins, we would go on every trip with her we could. We said, "Oh, that also gets you out of school, so let's do it too." But made it to you know in the World Series when they would make it in to that part, we would always find a trip. And you if you would think there was multiple times we'd be on the field with her, and then we would look over, and she's being interviewed by a huge sports network,
Yep.
ESPN. Or as a kid, we're like, wow, like it's that can be a role model to us as a child. And uh, she has impacted many people in life, and all of her players. They all have great things to say about her, and I've
Oh,
never heard anybody say anything bad about her. So growing up, seeing her, it does influence us to always, throughout the years, always be an impact on anybody, because it can change anyone's life, no matter how old they get. Players come back that have graduated, have kids, and talk about how much she has impacted them and helped them through everything.
Oh, like that's 100% correct. And I mean, I can speak for that, from somebody I just called bullpens for. And, and coach made me feel like that I was not just somebody they're helping, but I was part of that family.
Yeah.
And I looked up to her so much, from just how she treated her players, but also how she interacted with officials and things like that. I never heard coach say a bad word. And in sports and stuff like that, the language is not always the best in the world. And I think we heard coach say hell one time, and I think we were all like, "Oh my gosh, like what's going on?" But that's just everybody looks up to her too, and not just when I got to go to Sanford and coach against them and be on that side of it. Like when they ask everybody say, "Oh, where'd you go to school at?" I say, "I was at JSU," and the first person they think of is Coach McGinnis.
Yes, sir.
And so that just speaks about the kind of person she is. So I say all that to say you've got really good genes, Ace, of being a good person from your mom and dad's side, but also that side of the family too.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so let's go to the next question. How would you say, so I know you're kind of new in this, just got baptized, but how has that relationship with Jesus, really helped you? I mean, even just in the past few months.
I would say, in life, you have to make tons of decisions. There's multiple decisions out there that are good. There's probably way more decisions out there that are bad. And that's a big part in life of making the good decision. And I would say, with God, He helps you. He leads you to choose the right decision. And other people, when they're out doing things, they have friends, and they may want to do the wrong thing, but you'll have to step up and say that's not the right thing to do. It helped me, and I know it's helped many other people decide what decision they want. And just with him, I'm kind of just now getting started the older I get. And, being baptized, that's helped me with many decisions as well. And as I choose a college, that's going to be a huge part, of my decision. And, everything in life, it's for it. And, all the decisions, he helps you, it leads you to which way you want to go.
Hey, that's right. And I think you kind of led into something else too, like maybe some of the harder things about now, especially like you said, just being baptized, about, okay, well, now I'm really following after Christ. And so some of those decisions, where they might have used to been, well, yeah, I'll go hang out, or yeah, I'll go do this. But now it's like, it's got to be a no.
Yes, sir.
So I know that's kind of some of the struggle too. Of it's there's a lot of good for following Jesus, but there's also a lot of hard for following Jesus too.
Sir, yes, sir.
That's right. Okay, we're gonna wrap it up here in just a few minutes. But I want to talk about maybe some life hacks and kind of talk about kind of what your routine looks like and how you find time in that busy schedule that you have with volleyball and basketball and oh, by the way, you got to go to school from 8 to 3 too.
I know.
So how do you find time really to spend some time with you and Jesus?
Yeah. Well, any time in the day, you can pray any time in the day, whenever you need it. But with me, the time I have, before bed every night, I read. I read some verses of the Bible, and I always say my prayer. And I think that's always a good time to do it, right before you go to bed. It's just, guess you're more relaxed. You don't have to think about nothing. But as you go to sleep, you can it helps you be thankful for all the things you have, and you just pray that you wake up in another good day. So that would be, I think it's always a good time to pray and read the Bible before going to bed.
That's right. That's good stuff. And I know we said before we got on camera and recording, that one of the book that you're kind of going through now is the Book of John. How much progress have we made in that? Or are we just at the first of it?
we've made progress because during on Sunday mornings we have Bible class too, so that's what we're going through. We
Okay.
go through this, but right now we're in John 5, so we're making progress. We've been going through it. It's took some time, but we're getting there.
That's okay though. Listen, in those first few chapters, there's a lot because you hit the wedding at Cana, you hit Jesus and Nicodemus, and then you hit
Yeah.
Jesus with the woman at the well. So there was a lot there. Okay, so out of those three, what's been your favorite one to study so far?
See, with me, when I choose my favorites, I can never choose a favorite. I really cannot. I always struggle with anything I'm choosing favorites of. I can never choose a favorite.
That's okay. Listen, that's okay. We won't put you on the spot with that anymore. Okay. All right. So Ace is everything is her favorite. We'll just go with that.
Yeah, I am. When it comes to making if someone tells me, "Do you want to eat here or here?" I'm saying I'm not picking. I'm not choosing anything.
Ace, that that may lead you into some problems later on in life. Okay.
that
So,
that one may. So
listen, that sounds like me and my wife. Anytime we go, hey, where are we going to eat tonight? She's like, I don't care. I'm like, well, no, but no, like we really need you to care. So,
yes, yes.
so all right, I'm gonna be praying for you for that. That we can kind of work through some of that.
Hopefully, I can get better at that part.
Yep. All right. Two more things. Favorite Bible verse, Philippians 4:13. Paul talks about that with his letters to the Philippians, that he's been in want and he's been in plenty. But he says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So why does that, kind of your favorite verse? I know we just talked about not saying favorites, but, why is that one the one you lean on?
Well, in life and in sports, I'm gonna bring sports into this one. But in sports, you gotta have honestly, you have to have a whole lot of confidence. The older you get, when you get in college, because if when you get down on yourself, it can last a while. And when you get down on yourself, it can hurt. It can hurt you with confidence. And with that, it does help me to tell me that anything I want to do, I can do it. And to always stay strong and to believe in myself, that no matter on bad days, uh, in life, in the gym, anything, I can do it, no matter what day it is. So I mean I put that verse on my shoe. I put it on a lot of stuff because I mean I know there's probably a lot of people, that's their favorite verse.
Yep.
But it helps me because it tells me, the struggles I have. I'm able to do it no matter the problem. I can always overcome it.
Yeah, that's good stuff, and that's really what Paul was talking about. Like you said, on the good and the bad, he
Yes.
can do it all because
Mm-hmm.
through Christ.
Yeah.
And I think that's that center point that everybody needs to lean on, and is the reason why we're doing this show that we're doing. That I'm putting this out there that hopefully people watch.
Yes.
But if not, me and you had a really good conversation today, so it'll be okay. But one last question, you know, a lot of people know who you are because of sports and things like that. But what do you want to be, we can say either known by or remembered for, either way that you want to answer it?
For me, I would like for people to know me as a good person to everybody. Uh, I'm a big person and always caring about everybody and wanting to have a good impression on people. And a lot of people that may be known for just sports. You don't ever know their other side of them. And I want people to know that I have a relationship with God and I've put Him in my life and through every decision I make. And, I'm always friendly to others and I always, try to take care of others. And I want people to know that I'm not all about myself. And I want people to know that I'm a humble and, for other people too.
Uh, I think you're right on it, kid, and I think people will see that through this interview.
Mm-hmm.
And really, if they know anything about your family, I don't know if y'all's family would let pride in at all. Like they might kick you out. You know what I mean? So
Yes, sir.
you've got a lot of good people in your circle and pulling for you, and I'm pulling for you, Ace. You know, for
Well, thank
wherever you go, I know God is going to use you because that's what we're here for.
Yes,
Not for us, but for Him. And so,
yes.
how I'm going to leave this with every show
Mhm,
is I want to be able to share the gospel
mhm.
because you made the most important decision in your life, and that's not what college you're going to go to or who you're going to marry or the job you're going to have, but that was a decision of who was Jesus to you and what did you do with Him. And I want
Yes,
to give everybody the opportunity that's watching this to make the same decision that you did,
yes.
because we're all sinners.
Mhm.
The Bible tells us that it's pretty clear, and that sin separates us from God. And so, if that's you and you're realizing, hey, I don't know how I would answer those two questions. I don't know how I would, if somebody said, where are you going, or if you died tonight, I don't know.
Mhm.
Or if you say, well, hey, I'm going to heaven, you know, why? Why would God let you in? And if your answer is not Jesus, then I hate to tell you that your answers are in the wrong places. And that has to be the answer. And so there's going to be a website that pops up on the bottom of the screen. It's the4.fca.org. And if you're interested in salvation or interested in making a decision for Jesus, anybody watching can go to that link. And there's some great videos that kind of walk you through that process. And then after that, you can fill out a little form that said, I made a decision. And somebody from FCA will reach out to you and hopefully try to send you a Bible, because it's not just about making one decision and getting baptized, like you said today, Ace. It is about, following Jesus every single day. And that's why we're doing this, to make much of Jesus and to give Him all the glory. So
Yes,
if
sir.
that's you and you want to be like Ace and make that decision, you can do that right now, just by a simple prayer, or you can go to the website and follow that link and kind of walk through those steps. And I want to encourage you. I know Ace wants to encourage you to make that decision as well. But
Yes.
Ace, you have been an awesome first guest.
Thank you. Thank you.
You got to do me one favor though, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, when you see your mom and dad, give them a hug for me, and when you see your aunt, give her a hug for me,
I
okay?
sure will. I sure will.
Awesome, guys. Well, that is Ace Austin, volleyball player, basketball player. Not picking any restaurants though anytime soon.
Yeah,
So,
not on that one.
thank you guys for joining us on the first episode of The Platform.